Hey, and welcome to Winging It, my cooking show. Today is going to be a little fun one. We're going to be making a chicken pot pie. I've actually made this before, so it's not much of a winging it, but more of a I've done it. But it's a fun recipe. Well, fun. It's a good recipe for especially if you're on keto and you want something like a pot pie. I mean, you can't really have pie on keto unless you do it like this. So to start off, what we're going to do is rice about a cup of cauliflower. This is going to be the base of our pie crust. So I'm going to grab from this brand new head, start just ripping and tearing away some of this green so we can get to the florets. Then I'm just going to rip one of them off. Come on. There we go. Yep. And a little more. We're trying to get to a cup here. Yeah, that's about a cup, everything put together. These green ones, that gone there. Don't want no leaves. Said I want no leaves. Right. Put this aside, we're actually going to need it again later. But right now, let's make some cauliflower rice. So I'm going over to the blender. And to make cauliflower rice, you have to put it on and start with your pulsing so that all the pieces can get down into the blender. And just the reason I'm doing cauliflower rice right now, because we're going to be steaming this to make a cauliflower mash. And usually with cauliflower mash, I just steam the florets right away and then mash it. But when we're making a pie crust, we want that those cauliflower pieces to be as small as possible when they're mashed, so that we don't leave any too long of fibers in the pie crust. So yeah. Cauliflower rice. Now I have my Instapot bowl here with a steaming basket in it. Gonna put enough water in this for things to start steaming up. And then I'm just gonna throw this in. Yeah. The thing about these steaming baskets, they have small holes, so all of this should be able to get in there without actually getting down into the water. Let's get it all in there. Put this aside. Don't need that anymore. So yeah, we got a nice bed of cauliflower rice in there. We got some water at the bottom. Is it enough? No. And I'll also throw in a couple pieces of garlic for flavor. Not too much garlic. This is a garlic forward meal. This is a chicken forward meal. But a couple pieces of garlic can't hurt, and we'll add a little extra flavor. And then we're just gonna take this, add a little salt, and let's throw this into the Instapot. We're gonna put this in for a 5-minute pressure cook. So come over to the Instapot. It's always so bright on camera. I don't know why. Yep, we got our Instapot. Close it up. And pressure cook for 5 minutes. So that's going to take about 5 to 10 minutes to pressurize by itself. And while that's going on, let's start preparing some of the other things that we're going to be putting into our pot pie. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut up some vegetables. I'm going to use some asparagus in this. I like some asparagus. Cut off the hard ends and just chop this into some bite-sized pieces. Backside. I'm going to throw in a stalk of celery.
looking for another cup of vegetables here to be in our in the basically the soupy part of the pot pie. We got a stalk of celery here. Gonna cut this up, the bite-sized pieces. Right. And then I'm gonna actually, instead of potato, we have more cauliflower. This one we're gonna take off the florets. Take off a couple of them. Don't need too many because we got all this too. One more of these little ones. Come on. There we go. That should be enough. That's about another cup of vegetables with that. Measure with my ass. If you don't know what you're doing though, I do recommend actually measuring. And then we're just gonna break these apart into little bite-sized pieces. If they're big, just cut them in half. It's cut in half, and we'll cut this one into a quarter actually. Same with this one. There we go. So that's gonna be our inner vegetables for our pot pie. And then next thing we're gonna do is prepare the chicken. I got some of these thinly sliced chicken cutlets, chicken breasts, I should say. And I'm gonna want about 6 ounces of this. I can only eat about 8 ounces of protein, and we're gonna be putting egg and porfinco into the crust. So we need to leave a little wiggle room for our those proteins while we're doing this. So I got a scale here, and I'm gonna measure off 6 ounces of chicken. Zero that. 3. And right on the money, 6. Take this off. That's gonna give us 2 ounces of wiggle room when we grab the when we're making the crust. But that's not happening for another few minutes. All right. I'm just gonna be putting this chicken right in the fridge so that it doesn't sit out forever. Don't want this sitting out the entire video. That'd be a waste of chicken. At some point, I'm gonna vacuum seal this chicken, weigh it out to 8 ounces, vacuum seal it, throw it into my freezer for later days. All right, don't need the scale anymore. Scale can go back to home next to my sink. And now let's just we gotta dry these off with paper towels, get all the juices off the chicken itself, then we can start spicing it. And actually, one of the things I want to do too, before we even put it into the crock pot, is take these pieces of chicken and cut them into the lengths. That way, and 1 1/2. When we get this out, we're actually going to shred the chicken, but this will just make it a lot easier for all this chicken to sit at the bottom of the Instapot. All right. So now we got all this chicken here. Let's give it some spicing. Let's do this in a bowl, actually. So I've got a bowl here. Throwing all of our chicken in here. And I'm going to season this with salt. Some pepper. And some poultry season. Poultry season, you can get this at any grocery store. It's really just rosemary, thyme, all the stuff that you usually put on a chicken. And a little garlic powder. little onion powder once I find it.
The side.
Very little onion powder because this stuff is powerful. Alright, so you see our chicken's all spiced, just mix that around. And yep, that's all we need to do there. The vegetables we're gonna salt and pepper them once we get it into the Instapot. But there's really nothing else to do until this cauliflower gets out, so we're gonna put this stuff aside and take a quick break. It sounds like the Instapot's about to come up to pressure with the cauliflower in it, so this shouldn't be more than 7 minutes break. I'll be back. Okay, so the Instapot just went off, so let's go get our cauliflower rice. That's going to be turned into a cauliflower mash. So yeah, just release the pressure. And for this next thing, you're going to want the surface of your table pretty clear of any obstructions, because we're going to be making, first thing we should actually do is empty this out, drain the water, and then put it on for the sauce. That way we can work while the sauce, the filling. That way while the filling's cooking, we can be doing the pie crust. So that's the first thing I'm actually doing. All right. Take this out. This handle in the middle. All right. So I'm just going to be adding this to our bowl here. Try to get that going. All right. Not anymore. Then just take I have a potato masher here and just turn this into a mash. Alright, it's all mashed up. So we're going to be taking this mash, throwing it on a paper towel, because we need to dry it out now. We don't want it to be this moist when we're actually making that pie crust. There we go. I'm just going to wrap this up. Then I have another bunch of paper towels here, which I'm going to be putting at the bottom of this bowl that we just took these out of. We're going to put the wrapped mash right back in. We're going to be taking a second bowl, pushing down, and leaving that there so that it drains while we work on the sauce. And that should help dry it up. Right. Go back over to the Instapot. Actually, for this, I think I'm going to have to switch to the second camera. So let's switch to the second camera. All right. And we're on our second camera. There we go. Say hi to the world. All right. So we have this Instapot here. Now there's still a little water at the bottom. So we're just going to drain the water. Along with it. Actually, this step, we don't really need the second camera. I don't know why I did this. We can just do this all right here. So back to our original camera. Put that in my pocket. So I'm going to be taking this Instapot and I'm going to be rinsing it out first. Rinsing out all the leftover cauliflower at the bottom. Don't really need to dry it or anything. More cauliflower is getting back in there anyway. Put that in this because it's a hot bowl. raise you guys up so you can see inside. All right, so we got our bowl here. First thing we're gonna be doing is adding our chicken to the bottom in a nice even layer, so that it gets most of the heat. Next comes our vegetables from the cutting board. Just sprinkle them on in there. Now I'm going to be grabbing some chicken broth. I prefer chicken bone broth to non-bone broth. I think bone broth has a better flavor to it. We're just gonna try to pour this in here so there's enough to really almost like cover the chicken and almost cover all the vegetables. The vegetables will shrink while they cook, so we don't really have to worry about that. I'm gonna shake this before I pour it in. There we go. That should be good. And we're gonna season everything in here with salt. Pepper. Our poultry seasoning. Some garlic powder. Give this top layer a mix where all the vegetables and stuff are. Try to get that broth nice and seasoned, but also try to move some of that stuff onto the vegetables. Alright, I'm going to give this a little bit of a taste. Yep, that's good. Alright, let's bring this to the Instant Pot. We're going to be putting this under high pressure for 11 minutes. So we're at the Instant Pot. Put the cover back on. Oops. I almost forgot my oils. I still need 2 tablespoons of oil, and there's going to be no oil going into the bread, so I'm going to be putting about 2 tablespoons in here. Gotta give that another mix now. At the bottom, chicken. Alright, now you got them. Pressure cook. And 11 minutes. This is trash. Whatever. I'm fed up later. Alright. Let's make some crust. Bring back our bowl here. Come back down. Now the first thing I'm going to do is, in this bowl, measure out our pork panko and our egg. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to use the one bowl instead of making a mess. The first thing I'm going to do is we have this. There's no water in here because it's all in the paper towel. And we got our little puck of cauliflower mash. That we're just going to dump right back in here. Try to get every piece in there. Right there, little bowl. Let's get you vertical so you can see what's going on. Then I'm gonna, now I'm gonna grab my scale, which is already here. Put it on, and I'm gonna measure up maybe an ounce and a half of pork panko. Let's see how much we need. Yeah, let's go 1.5 ounces. Alright, let's mix this together before we put in the egg. Don't really need to salt it. There's plenty of salt in the panko. Just trying to get like a nice even mixture in here. Alright. Now let's put in another half an ounce of egg. So we've got to shake this. Come on. Right there. Stir it up. Now we get a nice slurry there. This is exactly what we want. Where the only thing really is, where most of the moisture is actually coming from the egg itself, the egg binds a lot better than water, obviously. Especially when we cook it. Alright. Now comes the tricky part, making our crust. Very good. Alright, salsa. So for our crust, what we're going to do is we're going to be try to divide this into two circles. One for the bottom of the crust, one for the top. And the way we're going to be doing that is using some wax paper, because I find the easiest way to do it is you get a big old thing of wax paper. So this is the size we're trying to make. This bowl right here. We're trying to get it down there and on top right here. So we're going to spread this out onto this, and we're going to make two balls, one slightly larger than the other. The small ball will be the top, the larger ball will be the bottom. So we'll start with the larger ball. So I'm going to take this ball, put it back in here, and I got a large ball here. Just make it into a ball, put it on here. We're going to be covering it up with our wax paper. And first, just press with your hands. Then use a rolling pin and try to flatten it out. If you don't have a rolling pin, you can use a wine bottle. I've done that in the past. Ooh, I think I may have made a little too much this time. Yeah, we should be able to take this. Nice part about the wax paper. Yep, I find that a little too much. Let's try this again. Move everything back to the center. Yeah, it's like playing with Play-Doh. And the reason I'm using the wax paper, usually what you do is you use flour. You can't have flour. Move this back down. Flat with the hand again. This time I'm gonna go light pressure on the rolling pin. There we go. That should be good. Now I can slowly peel this off. And then with the wax paper, I can just pick it up, flip it over into the bowl. And then just press it in. So it's got some breakage in there, but that should be fine. And then when I pull, the wax paper should release it because the glass has a lot better binding strength than the paper. Then just pretty it up with your hands. There'll be extras on here. all the way around. Right here I could throw on. Trying to give a nice even layer. The closest you'll ever see to me going for anything like baking, anything confectionery. I'm so bad at confectionery cooking because regular cooking is an art. Confectionery cooking is science, and the only science that's for me is computer science. I am bad at. I am not good at chemistry. All right. So there it is. Our bowl is ready to go. Now we just gotta wait for our food to finish. I just threw that out when I didn't need to yet, cause next we just gotta prepare the top of it for when the rest of our food goes. So I'll grab another piece. Put this on. With the hand. Let's actually bring this back so I can try to see how big I want to get this. So yeah, rolling pin. This way. That's a little too thin. Gotta have to try to do that again. We want it thin, but we don't want it too thin. We want it thin enough that's able to go over. Our Instapot's pressurized, so that's 11 minutes on that. Right, let's try this again. And flatten. Then roll this way. Roll this way. I haven't put any pressure on, just trying to get it back on top. It looks like it. Slowly peel it away. That's a much better looking piece right there. So then I'm just going to cover this again and set this aside till our filling's done. That pie. This I can throw on the sink. Soap in there, that thing is going to be a nightmare to clean. Alright. That's it for now, though. We got 10 minutes left on the filling, so I'm going to take a quick 10-minute break, and we'll be back. And we're back. All right, so Instapot has gone off, so let's go depressurize that, and we're going to switch over to the other camera just so that there's one more step we need to do inside Instapot, which is to thicken the sauce. And so I'm going to be doing that on camera so that you can actually see inside. Camera. And this is what we're going to be using: the thicken xanthan gum, one of the secret ingredients of dough and keto. So we're going to keep this on, keep warm. We're going to release the pressure. Almost done.
smells so good. It smells like chicken pot pie in there. So inside you can see our what you're seeing. You can see our mixture. Right now it looks like soup. We need to get this to look like gravy. So I'm grabbing a big double pinch of Parmesan gum and just gonna sprinkle that in. I'm just gonna mix everything around until everything looks like gravy. I'll know when I'm complete when the sauce is able to coat the back of this fork. Start picking out. By the way it's moving around. Actually, I don't think I want a gravy thickness just because we're going to be putting it into the pie pan and then cooking it again. So this is actually probably a good thickness right here. It's good. You grab oven mitt. Oven mitt grabbed. Bring this over to our cutting board. Here we are. Back to camera. All right. Let's fill up this pipe. I don't know why I took off the oven mitt. This thing's still hot. So we're just going to dump everything into here. Should be able to just get in there. A little too much. Gonna have to grab a ladle or something to get rid of some. Just what we'll do. Try not to get any vegetables. Do that there in case I need to do that again. Now grabbing a paper plate because we need to shred the chicken. Yep. Grabbing another fork and our original fork, which is still over by the Instant Pot. Pulling out our pieces of chicken. A few more. All right, that's all my chicken. All right, so just using 2 forks, you can easily just shred them. Shredded chicken means more chicken per bite.
Very easy to shred because of the pressure cooker. For a long time, I've denied ever getting an Instant Pot. I was like, why do I need that? I could just do everything from an Instant Pot in a regular pot. It doesn't take that much longer. But things like shredded chicken and doing this like pot pie stuff, and it's worth it, I think. And you free up a stovetop, especially when you're having company and stuff. All right, now I'm just gonna throw this chicken all the back in. A nice mix. Get chicken in every part of the pie. Because this is the last time we're gonna be able to get access to this liquid until we cut the pie. There we go. It's back. Now let's put the top of the pie. We got the top of our pie. Peel it back gently to make sure that nothing comes with it. And I'm just gonna flip this over. Try to line it up so that completely covers. Pushing it down into the glass. Get this off. Slowly, carefully. The hardest part of this. Come on. Come on. Behave. It's like stop tearing. Here we go. We lost a little of it, but we can kind of rectify that. Yeah, probably should have made the crust a little bigger, the top crust. All right, let's try to get some of this on there. Might not be the prettiest thing in the world, but it will be delicious. Tell you that. Slowly on there. All right. I think that's the best we're gonna be able to do. Yeah, not completely covered, but not completely uncovered either. All right. So now we're gonna be throwing it into my convection oven right here, my little convection toaster oven at 400 degrees for 12 minutes, so everything gets nice and crisp. That's it for all the steps. We just have to wait now, and then we can have some pie. So I'm gonna go away, gotta clean up a bit, get prepared for the final shoot. That pie feels really good. But so yeah, back in another 12 minutes. Okay, we're back. Toaster oven just went off, so let's grab our pie. My hand dandy oven. Look at this beauty. Look at this beauty. Look at that. That is a pie. That is a pie if I've ever seen one. All right. I gotta take a picture of this, and then we gotta dig into it. Oh, yeah, that's a beautiful looking pie. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Give this a taste. Hot. Very hot. Be careful. Mmm. That's so good. Mm-hmm. Hot. Very hot. But very good. All right. That's gonna be it for today. Thanks for watching. Have a good night and keep eating good.